Morning.
Welcome. Happy Memorial Day. So delighted that you're with us today as we celebrate. We're celebrating dreaming big. And, it's such an interesting thing to have that as a topic on Memorial Day. It was interesting that on the minister's listserv, there was a conversation. Somebody shared with the fact that a veteran had been approached this week. And this person had said, well, happy Memorial Day, we're celebrating your service. And the veteran said, well, I really appreciate it. I appreciate your interest in all of that. That's really great, except that I'm still alive. That would have been Veterans Day. Memorial Day, we actually celebrate those who have laid down their life, who have been willing to make that ultimate sacrifice that says, I will lay down my life for my fellow people, my fellow countrymen and women, those people that I care about. And it's really interesting with my son. Many of you know he's a firefighter, and it has made me very aware. I have become very much a heightened awareness of the fact that it's actually not just our military that serve. We have people who serve in civil service, as firefighters, EMT, paramedics, in the police force, who are just as willing to lay down their life. It was really extraordinary. My son had an opportunity. They took a tanker, their big tanker from their fire station in Rendon. They participated in the service in Waco a few weeks ago for the firefighters that were killed in that big explosion. And my son shared with me the extraordinary, the ritual and the extraordinary moment that it was when they declared two citizens honorary firefighters because they had lost their lives in that blast trying to participate with the firefighters themselves, trying to help. And in honor of their courage and in honor of that, the firefighters from that town made them honorary firefighters right then and there on the spot. And so they were given all of the honors as all of the other firefighters. And as Jason was sharing with me these stories and showing me these pictures, I was weeping with the, I'm going to do it again, with the extraordinary, what an extraordinary thing that is, that people are willing to do that. And so, my son and I, you've heard me talk about it, we struggle a little bit around the whole issue with war and the military. And he says to me, Mom, I'm just not as zen as you are. And he says, yeah, I know. He says, I know you're a bit of a peacenik, kind of a hippie. And so we talk about it, and I say to him, but I believe I live in a safe universe, and I believe that it's important that we learn how to solve our differences differently than through violence. And he says, oh, Mom, he says to me, I totally believe that that's true. And until we're able to do that, then our military and people carry guns to keep us safe. I don't know that I completely believe that. And yet I see that that is his way of being and living in a safe universe. And that is his honor and his courage and his willingness to lay his life on the line for us. And so many have already gone before us. Whether it is in our own wars, Memorial Day, certainly we remember those who have died in fighting in our wars, whether they're just or unjust, good or bad. The people went and they laid their life on the line. Let us also remember that that's happened everywhere. My uncle was in Germany, was lost in the war on the Nazi side, although he wasn't, my family was never Nazis. everywhere, whether it's in Iraq or Iran or in Africa or any place in the world, in the east, in the west, north, south, good, bad, or indifferent. People are losing their lives for what they believe in, whether we agree with it or not. It's important that we remember. My son has a sticker on his car, 9/11, never forget. Not because it's about, oh, never forget those people who flew it in the planes. Never forget those firefighters that lost their lives. People are doing amazing work, and they have given so much of themselves. So, let us have a moment of prayer. Just allowing ourselves to breathe. We breathe in life. We breathe it out. The breath is the most beautiful representation we have of our relationship with the divine. We breathe it in, and we breathe it out. We breathe in love, and we breathe out love. We breathe in light. We breathe out light. And every breath is a reminder that our lives are the life of the divine made manifest. We breathe them in and we breathe them out. And there are people all over the planet who have breathed out their last in service to the love that they have for the people around them, whether it's in war or in civil service. People who have been willing to fight for justice, for that which is right. They have been willing to fight for freedom and for their own lives. And they have breathed out their last physical breath. And while we know that their spirit goes on into a greater yet to be, and they thrive and flourish in that place, in this place here, they made the ultimate sacrifice, laying their life down for some idea of honor, courage, service, justice, even peace. So let us take a moment of deep silence in memory, in honor of these lives. And so we do not simply honor in abstract. I invite you into the silence to simply presence the names of those that you have lost or honor, who have given their lives in service. Please speak them out loud now. Joseph. And so, like the names on the walls of the Vietnam Memorial, and the names on the war memorials all dotted around France and England and wherever those places are where those names have been written. The names of the firefighters that are added to in downtown Dallas every time a firefighter loses their life. The police officers, those people in service, in the National Guard, wherever they are. This moment of honoring is a deep moment of gratitude. Gratitude and respect, and a willingness for us to stand in such a deep place of peace that one day, someday, we dream of a day when that kind of a sacrifice is no longer required. And even then, lest we ever forget, we will remember. And so it is. So it is.
Now, one of the privileges of being the platform assistant is that every now and then you get a chance to speak up, so this is my speak up time. And I want to speak up in support of our minister because our spiritual director, Ms. Peacher, I like the way that she always stands out and bears her heart. And what she just did this morning about Memorial Day was just that. Yeah. I'm one of those folks who, I really do know the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Some folks really don't. And I come from Leavenworth, Kansas. I don't know if you guys know anything about Leavenworth, Kansas, but we're adjacent to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. So we have 2 national cemeteries, one on either end of town. So as a Cub Scout, and a Boy Scout, I was one of those kids who would plant the flags at all of those different grave sites. And you can be really proud to be an American because that's one place that we really take care of. The national cemeteries are the most beautiful places that you can ever go. But you'll see so many rows and rows of headstones that it'll just move you. When I was a young boy, it would move me because I would find out that I had ancestors that go back to the colored regiments back in the 1860s who joined up and fought in the Civil War. And that really was fighting for my freedom. When I became a high schooler, I was in ROTC, and my job was to go play taps for Memorial Day. So when you hear that echo when they play taps, I was the guy who was hiding way back in the back that you couldn't see that was making the echoes. And at that time I learned that all of my grandparents are also buried at national cemeteries. And I have plenty of great uncles and all kinds of people who were given that service and given their lives for that. As an adult, now I go back and I visit those same cemeteries because that's where my father is, that's where my brothers are, that's where my best friends are. So for me, Memorial Day is a very, very special day. And I just want to make sure that I let you guys know that I'm moved by the fact that folks will take that path in life and that they will fight for us like that. And I'm even more moved that we have a minister who will make sure that we announce that and mention that and honor that here. So it's a good day. Now.
And you are listening. If you can't see me, this is the disembodied voice of your goddess. I want to tag on to what Michael and Reverend Peter just spoke about. I was an Army nurse during the Vietnam conflict. I never got there because I had 3 brothers who kept rotating through country. And one of those brothers, both my parents and another brother, are buried at Fort Sam Houston. Well, one of the brothers is buried. Yeah, they're all buried at Fort Sam Houston. Some of the most beautiful country in the world is reserved for our veterans. And regardless of your beliefs, they all serve for our freedoms. They have created what we now enjoy. The closest cemetery to us here in this part of the country is the DFW National Cemetery out by the lake in southwest Dallas County. It's gorgeous. They have both the headstones and they have columbariums. It's just, when I was in college getting my undergraduate degree at UT Arlington, I would go to the cemetery, the local cemetery off of Pecan Street, to study. Now, call me weird, it's all right. I've been this way all my life. But it was a glorious, quiet, wonderful. You heard the sound of the wind through the pines. You heard the sound of the orioles and the birds and the hawks. It was just so. I just offer that to you as an opportunity to celebrate and to honor our forefathers and mothers, brothers and sisters.